and what we have to look forward to in the future. We have a very, very good friend of mine, so please open up your minds, your hearts, and make room for sweet Gwendolyn.
Hey. So, in addition to being sweet Gwendolyn, I am also a trans guy drag queen named Debbie Penetration. And I look forward very much to coming back to Vanguard next year and doing some avant-garde and political drag for you. But tonight I'm going to do something different. One of the many things I do out in Queerland is I run a Facebook page that's called Positive LGBTQIA+ News, and it is exactly what it sounds like. Anytime good news happens to queer and trans people, I write a one-sentence summary and I share out the link. So, the reason I started doing that is that the most subversive thing that you can do is to give marginalized people hope. And I am about to give you a whole year's worth of hope. This is all happening last year. You got more of this to look forward to next year. And please, as I read these out, feel you have permission to cheer as much as you feel inspired to. So, starting in January of 2022, this is what happened. Nominated for her role on Pose, MJ Rodriguez became the first out trans person of color to ever win a Golden Globe Award. Andrea Jenkins of Minneapolis made history by becoming the first out trans person in the U.S. to be elected president of the city council. Trans contestant Amy Schneider hit second place for the most consecutive wins on Jeopardy ever, second only to Ken Jennings. She also won the Tournament of Champions when she returned in November. The Social Security Administration began granting survivor benefits to queer couples who were never able to marry legally before one of them died. This is retroactive and includes people who lost their partners in the AIDS crisis. That was a big one, very big one. Chantel Wong became the first queer person of color ever appointed to a U.S. ambassador level position. The number of American adults identifying as queer or trans has doubled in the past 10 years to 7.1%, with Generation Z leading the surge at 20%. Allison Nathan became the second out queer woman confirmed as a federal circuit judge. Ariana DeBose became the first Afro-Latina and the first out actor of color to win an Oscar for her performance in West Side Story. Biden announced a wide array of sweeping changes on the federal level aimed to assist and protect transgender Americans, most notably adding the option of an X gender marker on U.S. passports and waiving the requirement for medical documentation. Comedian Jared Carmichael came out as gay in his new HBO special. Janelle Monáe officially came out as non-binary. Doctors pioneered a technique to assist transgender men in becoming pregnant without having to stop their hormone therapy to cause ovulation. Karine Jean-Pierre became the first openly queer press secretary for the White House. Target began selling binders, marking the beginning of major retailers carrying transgender products. And I checked, and Walmart sells binders too. Yasmin Finley became the first trans character on Doctor Who with a starring role as the Doctor's assistant. Laverne Cox became Mattel's first ever transgender Barbie doll. Anjanou Ellis, Oscar nominated for her role in King Richard, came out as bisexual. President Biden signed an executive order cracking down on so-called conversion therapy. The Biden administration also released a new legal interpretation of Title IX to add sweeping new protections for transgender children in public schools. On the global level, the World Health Organization is issuing new guidance stating that gender is, quote, not limited to male or female. Loving parents Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union continue to lead by example by legally filing to update the name and gender marker of their transgender daughter Zaya. After a long journey, R&B singer Kevin Campbell has publicly come out as gay. Victoria Cruz became the first transgender Grand Marshal in New York City's West Indian Day Parade. If you're not from New York City, that's a big fucking deal. Cuba's citizens voted to legalize same-sex marriage, adoption, and fertility treatments for same-sex couples by a 2-to-1 margin. Byron Perkins made history by becoming the first openly gay football player at an HBCU. Miss Argentina and Miss Puerto Rico got married. According to current trends, by 2030, 1 in 7 Texas voters will be queer or trans, and by 2040, it will be 1 in 5, thereby making queer and trans voters one of the fastest growing voting blocs in both the state and the country. We're getting there.
That's why they want to kill us
James
now.
Rosner of New Hampshire became the first trans man elected to a state legislature in the country. Tina Kochek of Oregon and Laura Healy of Massachusetts became the 2 first elected out lesbian governors in the country. And in keeping with the current trend of trans court victories, a federal appeals court has thrown out a lawsuit challenging trans athletes' right to compete in sports. And last, but very, very not least, it was really the battle of a lifetime. When I first became politically engaged, 1991-92, in high school, gay marriage became my big cause that I worked on. And so it is with that, I am very, very, very excited to say that just a few weeks ago, Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act, codifying same-sex and interracial marriage, guaranteeing that all states must honor our marriages from the other states and guaranteeing that the federal government will honor and recognize our marriages as well. Now let's go out there and make our own positive moves. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, sweet Gwendolyn. Y'all, we're getting there.
That was
We're
sweet.
getting there.